Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to the Catalyst to the Trades podcast. I'm very excited about our show today. We have some amazing special guests. This is the first time for me that I've had 3 clients, 3 friends, 3 Just Start AI members and partners on the call at the same time. I have Miss Stephanie Allen from Airworks, Amanda with Cherry Blossom, and Courtney Van Delden. We're going to start off, you guys, with some intros. I'm going to have these guys jump in, tell us a little bit about their business and how they got into it, what made them choose the trades. Miss Courtney, I'll start with you. I see Steph's got a little ragamuffin probably running around right below her, probably with no clothes. I'm just saying.
Are you talking about me?
Huh?
A ragamuffin over here?
Probably.
It was actually, Abby brought me coffee.
Oh, okay. That was pretty slick. It was slide under the table, not in the camera screen.
Yep. Yeah.
I love it. All
I
right,
don't even
Miss
know what
Courtney.
those ragamuffins are right now.
Courtney, tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Yeah, sure. My name is Courtney Van Delden, and my company with my brother and myself is Delden Wastewater Systems. We are located in the San Antonio area in Texas, and we do everything with septic systems, installation, repair, service, pumping, you name it, we do it. And we're the 4th generation. So our great grandfather started in 1937. And so that's how I got in the business. Family passed down, and I've been full-time in it, I don't know, 23, 25 years, something like that. But I started answering the phones when I was 6. So been kind of working my way here for a very long time.
I love that. I can see Steph's already got podcast host questions in her head right now.
I'm doing my best to just be a guest. I'm doing my best.
You know how we roll. You're good. All right. We're going to move to Miss Amanda. Cherry Blossom, how did you guys get started? Tell us a little bit about your business.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm Amanda. My husband and I started Cherry Blossom Plumbing here in the DC area in Northern Virginia during COVID, actually. And we had a great time, and it was a great time to do something like that for the business and for me personally. I ended up quitting my job and just going all in, burning the ships, and that's how we got started. And it's been rocky, but we're in a great place right now, and we're so excited. We're so excited. It's raining water heater calls over here today. So
woohoo! It's working. I love that. Fantastic. All right, Miss Steph.
Hello. How did I get into the trades? First off, can we also say not only do you have like 3 clients, 3 fans, 3 whatever, you have 3 powerful women on this call along with you. So it's quite the panel that we have. My husband and I started Airworks in 2010 before we were husband and wife. I say he finally proposed when it was good for business, because not working for your boyfriend's business is different than your husband or your business. Even this last weekend, even though my face is on the van now with my kids and I'm like full CEO mode, I still got I see your face on your husband's trucks all over town. How's his business? I'm like, anyway, for those listeners, you didn't see the fist pump that happened there, but Kevin and I started our HVAC company in 2010. Now, that was right after the recession, and everyone would ask us, why the heck are you starting a company right now? Well, it was the right time for us in our life. Kevin has been a technician since 2002. He had worked for a commercial company and then a couple of residential companies when I was doing my law school and MBA turn in Alabama. And we decided when we moved home that we were going to start our own company, and that we wanted to basically have a company that we would want to work for and provide services that we would want in our home. And so that has always been our basis. The company has grown and stalled based on how many kids we were having, what phase of life we were in, how it was serving us. We have 4 kiddos. And so, after the first one, which I had my first baby at home, unassisted, Kevin caught her, and I ran payroll 4 days later. Like, that's just how we've always rolled. And in our home where our business also was. So our employees at the time held her within hours of her being born. But Airworks started as an HVAC company. And then 2 years ago, we added on plumbing. And so now we're fully HVAC plumbing, getting a lot of plumbing demand calls also. And that's thanks to our new marketing strategy.
I love that. I have literally, my eyes started to water because when we picked up Kevin, randomly, I did not, barely knew Stephanie. I think I'd seen her. And my husband and her husband, well, wait a minute. Stephanie and my husband went to a retreat called Bold. The very next,
it's a leadership.
It's, I don't know what even to call it.
Yeah, it's like personal development, but it wasn't a retreat that I just picked up her husband.
Just randomly, my husband came home from this 3-day deep thing and was like, this is my sister, like overnight. And then he was like, we're picking up her husband and you and her husband are going to go for the 3-day weekend to stay in some cabins in the woods. That's how we met. But your husband told us that entire story about the babies coming at home in the car. And I remember like my whole soul. Ugh.
So I met Jen originally at an E3 event. And I remember her talking about people buying online and a whole different experience. And I'm like, this lady is crazy. Right? I said, this woman is very smart, but she's too far out there. And that's not the strategy that we're going to employ because it's not mainstream. And she was like, too smart for me. Which, I'm sorry. It was like the level at which Jen's brain was working, I wasn't able to catch up with. And so I just kind of let it go. Can you guys relate to that?
100%.
Right. And that's often what I tell her. It's like, Jen, it's not that people don't like you. People don't understand you and how to get to the level of thinking where you are quickly. And so that's what happens. But now that I've gotten to know Jennifer as a friend and partner, not only do I appreciate her brilliance, it's her heart. Guiding us and wanting what's best for us to get to where we're going to go. And so I'm so excited to talk about what's working for each of our companies in our marketing and how we can help other people join us. And what I've basically said to Jen is like, we're building the ark and the storm is coming. Let's invite as many people as we can onto this thing and let's save the trades.
I love that. I love that. Thank you, Miss Steph. I would give you a big hug right now. Okay, so you guys tell me.
The point of that story was I knew you were a badass. So when I went to Bold with Mike, I felt like I knew you and I was able to talk through his stuff. I'm like, I get her. I understand her because in my relationship, I'm her too. And we are strong and we're powerful and we're bullheaded, but we have so much love and appreciation for the people around us. So just see that part. Yeah.
Don't be on my hater list. Give me a chance. All right. I appreciate that. So throughout your business, tell me, I'd like to hear kind of the story or the stages, I guess, the phases and stages of having to learn the marketing lessons. Forget about CI Web Group right now or what you're doing today, but what's that journey feel like if you had to go backwards and you got to make other decisions? So I always tell everybody, right, you can choose to learn one of two ways, either consistency and repetition or it's an ass whooping, for lack of a better term. Like if you had to go back and you had to say, I'd rather have chosen better mentors or made some decisions and then stuck to those versus had to learn these hard lessons, what does that path look like historically from a marketing standpoint? Obviously underfunded probably is one of them, under budgeting, all of these things, but also you can have the right budget and apply it to the wrong activities and get horrible results as well. What was your story like, Courtney?
So I think for me, it would be being able so we moved to Service Titan like late 2019. And before that, we had no real true attribution to any of our marketing channels, which we didn't really have a lot of marketing channels. It was basically, we had a website, we had SEO and some PPC. We did some direct mail to our current customers, but we never did direct mail to anybody besides our current customers. And then we had, all like 4 yellow book page ads, that we eventually dropped. But not knowing where those leads were coming from, because we weren't asking, is something I definitely would have pushed harder a long time ago. And really would have, like, our direct mail, I mean, we're like 3,000% ROI. So knowing that now, I would have started that a long time ago and been building it up, 20 years ago versus really just starting that, 5 or 6 years ago.
How are you asking now? How are you tracking?
So right now we're still not asking because we have Service Titan and we're able to like have the different tracking numbers and see what phone call, what phone number they're coming from. We probably could ask still and do better, but before we just weren't even asking and we didn't have any way to track anything. And so it was just kind of blind before.
So like us, you probably have a number that has been used throughout history that people are used to calling that isn't necessarily to a campaign. When I went to a Toolbox for the Trades event and figured out how important it was to ask. And so I changed my default for my main lines to did not ask. So that way I can go back to my CSRs and I can say, look how many campaigns were booked under did not ask. That means you didn't do your job. So if you put it under existing customer or you put it under mainline, it's not telling you anything.
Yes.
So my tip
Very
is
good.
change that number to did not ask and then task your team.
Yes.
If you get campaigns run to did not ask, we're not getting attribution. You're not doing your job. And it says it right there. Like it's a plain as day. And they're admitting that they didn't ask. So
yes, that's great, Stephanie. I'm going to change that today.
awesome.
I love that. I love that. Where do you feel like any other big catalyst moments that were kind of defining changes in your marketing strategy, business growth?
I mean, I think just always evaluating. I mean, I can't really say it's been like one defining thing, but paying attention, I think, is like the most important thing, because if I'm spending money in one area, but I'm not looking to see like, did that actually produce results? I think that's a big thing. And it's something that like I have to keep on top of. It's not like a set it and forget it, like, hey, let's just look at it once a year type thing. So for me, it hasn't been like one defining moment. I feel like it's just like a consistent evolution of changing and keeping up and adapting as we go along.
So I would say number one, marketing is a chess game, right? You can't just stare at the board. If you don't look at the board, you can't make the right moves. I would say 9 out of 10 calls that we get right out of the gate, the first statement is, well, how much does it cost? And I said, we're not going to start there. I want to know how much you know, and I want to educate you on the process. The second statement usually is, well, that's why I'm hiring a professional. I don't want to know. I was like, well, we're probably not a good fit. We're going to want you to know. So I think that's an important piece to it. Okay. Steph.
So I am currently in the ass whooping phase of those two choices, right? And I think that we've been kind of in a pot that has been gradually getting hotter, and so we didn't realize it until like the bottom fell out. And for me, the one thing I'm going to point to is that when we started this company, Kevin and I really did a great job of grassroots marketing. We did a really great job of being known in our community, of networking. Then we got busier and we decided we were wearing different hats, and we started working more on operational level than continuing to be in the forefront of our marketing campaigns. And we started outsourcing that. So we had almost zero marketing campaign when we were in our true growth mode, because Kevin and I were out shaking hands and kissing babies. But when we decided that that wasn't our job anymore, what I say is like those seeds were planted, and so we were still harvesting and we didn't see the change. But now that's our big change in 2026, is that we are growing our grassroots marketing again. We're really focusing on community. we're focusing on it being my voice, Kevin's voice out there in the community. We can't outsource that as much as we thought we could, where we could bring in canvassers and maybe that's because I'm not training them well enough, right? And I don't have the exact brand voice down. I just think that you're going to know what mom approved is. But once I get back out there, I will create those systems and I will help build the army. And that's what I'm really excited about moving forward in our marketing, is that grassroots community development army that we're building. And now I'm also supported by a marketing machine on the web. And I feel like success is going to be making, and I say this all the time, but making sure you have a really strong table. You can't point to one thing or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I can't say I don't have any business. It's all my web designer's fault. Right? Sure, they may play a part of that, but there's a whole synergistic table that has to work together. So my big one is our lack of community involvement and networking, and we're getting back to that.
Good. Any other catalysts, big moments, big lessons?
You mean like I should have listened to Jen sooner? Don't spit out your
No.
coffee. Yeah, it's just like knowing your numbers, really paying attention to the finances, understanding how that impacts you, being ready to pivot. Other big catalyst is just because it works in somebody else's business doesn't mean it's going to work in yours necessarily. And so trust but verify, test and move. What we're doing is not novel.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe now on the AI cutting edge side, but for the most part, a lot of what we're doing in the operations of our business has been done before. Find something that works and copy it and then go from there. Like you don't have to create the wheel to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really important. One thing that I said today, so we're having a lot of issues with our technicians running on calls right now. And it's because in the last year, we haven't had much demand after hours or weekends because we were pulling in all of that demand based on memberships, et cetera. But now we have a whole on-call problem because we're getting so much demands on nights and weekends that we have to change our culture to appreciate that demand and to want to serve customers when they want to be served.
That's fair. Prepare for growth. Yes, yes. If they're not part of the growth solution, then when you have a lever that works and you hit it, they're not part of the growth solution, which is definitely a challenge. I've seen that before. I've seen that over and over again. Interesting. Amanda, how about you?
Yeah, we definitely had a lot of moments. Trusting people too easily was one big lesson that we had to learn. Not understanding, making big decisions without fully understanding things. That was just a huge lesson we had to learn. We had to just learn to take some hits, and all of them seemed to be around marketing. We were the people who were like, it's marketing, but it was really us. Like it was really sales and conversions. And yeah, so then the next big catalyst was when we got hacked and our Google got suspended, because everyone relies on Google so much. So imagine, not being listed at all. That just really taught us a huge lesson about diversification. Even when we thought we really were not. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I always heard Jen talking so much about, be careful if they ask you to be in a contract, be careful if there's set fees, and like all of the red flags that she always mentioned were always there. And so it was really refreshing to work with somebody who wasn't just trying to sell you something, that really wants you to be in the right place for your company at the right time. It's crazy that we can think that a one marketing company can have like 2 offerings and that's it for like all of their customers,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. Those are tough lessons.
Really tough lessons.
Yeah, those suck, right? No long-term contracts. You got to have a love us or leave us. You got to earn your business every day. And all parties got to show up, suit up, and participate. There's no easy button. Play chess, right? These are preferably lessons that we can avoid if we write down the checklist of all those red flags and go, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe not. So you guys have all transitioned to you were first in your entire market. You guys were probably some of the first, I would say the first 100 trades companies to evolve out of traditional technology that is represented in 80% of the entire trades industry, which is a WordPress website. And I think all of you guys, we actually had built, well, you either had someone else or we had built a WordPress website, and then we made the recommendation to transition into a low code environment, get into Webflow, and to allow us to rewrite all of the existing content that you have and significantly expand all of the content that you had in your digital store. What was some of your initial thoughts when those recommendations were made? Because I think, Amanda, for you, we had just launched, if I remember, not too long ago, a WordPress website with, an initial set of content and so forth. Courtney, did we same thing with you?
Yeah, about 8 months later is when y'all came back and said, hey, let's do this.
So that can't feel good to have your marketing agency build and then learn a lesson because they're over there playing chess, and then come back 8 months later and say, I want to do this again, but I want to use technology that no one else in your industry is using. And I want to completely change the entire strategy from a content strategy. And I know you just went through that 8 months ago. So first of all, kind of how does that settle? What would you advise someone that was in that position? And then how's that panned out for you? How do you feel like it's impacted your business now? You guys.
Well, I think for us, one, we trust it because of our experience we just had through the whole website rebuild and just coming on to CI Web Group. Even though we weren't long-term clients, we really trusted you and what CI Group was doing. And so that one was like, that helped a lot. Two, we knew how easy the process was. Like, I thought redoing a website was going to be so cumbersome on my end, but y'all really made it easy the first go around on the WordPress. So I had that experience to move forward on this. And then for us, it was just, things are always changing. And if we're not adapting, then we're going to be left behind. And so, I'm willing to take some risks, and hopefully there's that reward. But if you don't try, then you don't ever know. So that's kind of where we were.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the impact so far? What do you notice the difference?
How
long have you been live though?
I think about a year.
Okay.
I think with Cortex and being able to see how it's working with AI and how our keywords are ranking and how many impressions we're getting, and just seeing that kind of skyrocket, and the needle is being moved, is really encouraging. And it makes me really glad that we did jump on board when we did, because I feel like now the buzz is out there. Now everybody's starting to do it. And we were first in line. So I'm excited about that.
I think you guys were actually one of the first 3.
Okay, let me just be real honest here.
Yeah.
It's freaking scary. All right. And it's hard because there is a lot of trust, but there's also like, are the phones ringing? And then I think when you do something brand new like this, you kind of need a support group, because behind the scenes, Amanda and I are calling each other and like, do you know what just went live on the website? Do you know what AI is writing for us? Do you know what these images look like? And then, CI is very quick to respond. But when we were doing this 6-8 months ago, you guys were learning too, right along with us.
We're still learning. We are still
right?
learning.
And so when we had a picture of a naked person on our website, it was like code red for everybody.
Was she missing a hand? She had 2 breasts, but
or like we've seen other things, or when it decided it wanted to write these blogs about what I did in my legal career that was just like so far left field, we had to pull that back and put some restrictions on it. it was crazy because I'm finding these, I'm like down a rabbit hole. I'm like, what is happening here to my name and all these other things out there on the web? And you know what? Like, none of it is earth shattering.
We're fine.
Right? We were able to learn, pivot, edit. It's about having a relationship with somebody that you can say, did you see this? Like, you screwed up, we screwed up. Can we fix this? What can happen? And it's a quick pivot, right? So our marketing really started working around it was mid-November.
Mm-hmm.
The first week of December, you can just like see it skyrocket. So I don't know how the rest of you, what it felt like, but the first 4 months for us were kind of flat. It was like we were still on our WordPress website. I think that has ramped up now because Jennifer and the CI team have figured out some more to the algorithm of how to get things to rank faster. I might be misspeaking for you, Jen.
It's consistently 120 days. I need 120 days with proper technology, full rewrite, full expansion of content. I need 120 days to go from, which I had no visibility. I mean, our entire 20 years in business, I didn't know that each time we published a blog post, we might get 3 impressions, 0 clicks because we were posting once a week. Like, that wasn't a measurement I went out and looked at. So it's taken us now almost a year. We've been doing this for almost a year. But I mean, Cortex has only been in existence for 6 months. So I've got 6 months of data to be able to say I need 120 days.
But now you're able to arm your contractors with time to ramp up, get your operations in place, because around 120 days is when you're going to take off. Right. And so you have some more visibility to the expectation of what's going to happen. I mean, obviously results are not guaranteed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But having that would have been really good for us too, because we would have planned differently for this off season.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I got to learn now. I don't have an off season. I have a different season, and the demands are coming in stronger now than they were in summer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to keep ramping up is my plan.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Amanda, you were talking about like water heaters raining.
Yeah. So, I mean, when Jen first gave the idea right after having, a fairly new website to doing another one, my first impression was like, yeah, we're not doing that. There's no way. But it only took like 1 or 2 more conversations or webinars to really, I was excited. I was like, I want to be in the top 100 companies doing this. I want to be the first here who's doing this. That's what I wanted. So her excitement spread, and I could see it, and I wanted to be part of it. And we wanted a partner who would come to us and be honest with us. That's what we were asking for, that, and we got it. So we were really thankful for that. But yeah, it's going very well here for us. Very well.
I think the big difference is separating your ego and your identity from exactly what the website looks like to understanding how it's supposed to function. Right? Because the way my website functions is far superior to the way past websites functioned. It's utilitarian. Right? It's written in this low code way for them to get all sorts of the information out to the bots or agents or systems that need it. And that's the direction that we're going. And now, because the 3 of us have made this decision, we're so far ahead of anybody starting now, right? Because their 120 days hasn't started.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have 6-month web build ahead of that. So you're a year plus ahead.
So let's say they're at web build and they're 120 days. Well, I'm at 240. And do you know what that momentum has built?
Yeah.
Because I can do that math real quick, Jen. Like, you can add your other months on there, but I already had planned the 120 to the 240 in my head. So I had to go there. Anyway, so that's why it was so important to me to get started. And that's why we created Just Start AI. Because we truly believe that you have to get started now, and then you're going to figure it out as you get going. But start that momentum.
Mm-hmm. So part of this, we talked about the web, and that's from our vantage point, that was a critical element. Is why would we build all of these AI marketing platforms, systems, these automations, and put it on an old school, bloated, free, open source platform that, it didn't make sense. So we're over here playing these same chess games. Like, I don't know. We didn't have enough history to be able to see. We had to make some tactical and what we deem as logical decisions in advance of knowing if they would work. And then we need to have some partners that trust us enough to go, it's got to be better than where you're at right now. Like, let me try. Which is why having a group of ambassadors, people that are willing to text you at midnight or jump on one of these podcasts or have a phone conversation or give feedback in a logical and pragmatic way without freaking the heck out, and you guys work through things together, is critical, because I can't play in the sandbox if I don't have anybody to play with, right? And we're testing on ourselves, but we can only go so far. That's in digital, or it's not the same category, right? I'm competing with the likes of God. I'm competing with the top marketing companies in the entire nation. It's not the same as a local business. So I appreciate the fact that all of you guys are on my text thread, are on my Facebook page, are communicating, showing up and participating with the account team and giving feedback. Because say that again.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say
6 months ago when I went to ChatGPT to ask for local companies, I wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
But now I am.
Yeah.
Now I am, and I'm among small dinky companies in my area because their websites
they're tiny.
are developed.
Yeah, they're tiny. They don't have anything, right?
It's
easy
really
to
interesting to make the list, and it takes massive strategy to figure out how to be good and big and make that list right now. Yeah. And I'm the only one on my ChatGPT. I just pulled it up last night. That comes from my website. Everybody else is being mentioned because of Yelp or Angie's or Thumbtack.
Mm-hmm.
But mine was the only one giving credit to Airworks Solutions.
Love that. Love that. So moving into leveraging AI versus humans, you guys used to have an entire army of people with us anyway that were responsible for writing the code, responsible for analyzing the keywords, responsible for writing content, responsible for attempting to generate backlinks. Like, it was all people. And there was a lot of them. And the bigger we grew, the further I got away from the humans we had to hire to do the work. So the bigger the company, like,
you
no
BS in your community. Yeah.
Right. No BS. It is impossible to scale and grow a company and make sure, when you go layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, that Mary, who I've never met in my entire life, who's responsible for your SEO, is doing a great job. I don't know how to do that. The systems are not, they're still humans. So you're in this, I think, which I think these are good conversations to have, right? Instead of just being mad at an agency, you're either working with a really small company that's limited in skill, expertise, experience, and so forth, or you're working in a really large company that has very little control down to the nth degree, right? They just don't. No, if they're enormous, they do not have control with the human beings who are supposed to be pulling those levers. You have a mid-sized company that's in this stuck phase, right? Somewhere in the middle of both. Now, we transitioned all of that to leveraging AI to perform, at least on the marketing side, like 80% of the entire tasks is now done by AI agents, which we don't know what they need to be trained until they do something wrong. Like put up a naked lady in the shower on a plumbing post. So I think there was a child in the room too, right? So we don't know how to train them necessarily. It doesn't work the same. So you've got to have a little bit of you have to have a little bit of, I don't even know what to call it, to say that the AI is not going to do things perfectly until you identify the information to train it to make it do better. And you have to keep doing that until it starts to produce the result that you love over and over again. And that's why you need that 120 days of refinement of watching what it does, watching how it performs, and feeding it new information, retraining, putting up new guardrails, telling it no naked ladies. Didn't think that was something we had to tell it out of the gate, but oops. And you got to be cool enough to say, okay, let's focus on this because the result is worth it, right? It's worth it if we can do technically 100 to 1,000 times more work for the same investment than you would have a human who also makes mistakes, right? So from your vantage point, my guess is with all your marketing companies, you never had a report to be able to see what needs to get done, what got done, and what's coming, what's done. How does that feel right now, being able to have, what kind of dashboards do you have visibility to? How does it feel being able to have that level of visibility? And is it worth that 120 days of refinement and guardrails and possible errors and or omissions to get there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's worth it for sure. It's worth it if you have to wait the whole year. I mean, because if you don't do it, there's no alternative. It's not going to get, like, the waiting list is only going to get longer. So, like, we tell our customers, this is the cheapest it's going to be. Like, this is the fastest it's going to be right now, right?
Mhm.
It's definitely worth it. Replacing the trusting the computers to replace stuff was something I had struggled with at first. And Stephanie and I talked a lot about this on the back end, and Jen had to have a conversation with me, like a one-on-one meeting, where she was like, you have to stop doing this. Like, we have to relax with what we're telling it to do. We have to let it play. We don't have to be worried about every single picture. Doesn't have to be perfect. So that was a lesson. And after I dialed back on that, it was fine. It was really fine.
Because you have a very analytical mind. She has the engineer's approach to everything. So, and that's not easy because at some point you gotta decide, right? Do you want it to be perfect or do you want it to get results?
Yeah.
Pick. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Get comfortable being uncomfortable if you move this route, though. I would agree. Courtney, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, same as Amanda. I actually kind of had to stop looking at the blogs that are coming ahead and reading them because it may not be in the past. I had been very I wanted to kind of control the way verbiage was. Well, that's not the word we use in this industry, and but I had to realize that's not how people are searching. They don't know what they're talking about either. So they're going to be using the terms that I don't use when they're Googling or ChatGPTing or whatever they're doing. But I had to stop looking at the blogs that were coming up because I'm like, that's not technically right. That's not technically right. But understanding more how it's built, why it's saying those things in the background, and how it's feeding AI is more important to me at this point. Because the truth of the matter is, if you're doing a blog a day, how many people are really going to read that one blog, right? Mm-hmm. And so I kind of had to start having that mind frame about it, that it's more for building the website and building authority and building those keywords and having it all tied together versus having every single sentence correct.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the interesting part is that the logic that's being used to generate it is based on what's correct to the consumer,
right?
Which not necessarily correct to the subject matter expert,
right?
Do you know what I found it has allowed me to do is become creative in other ways? And so it's kind of been a catalyst for me opening up, trying different things. So now that we have these daily blogs, I'm like, okay, I don't, like you guys are saying, I can't read it all. Originally in September, Jen tasked me with doing a 1-minute video for every blog that came out. Right. And I was seeing them and I got to a point where I was like, I can't do this every day because the content is repetitive. It doesn't make sense to me. And so I had to leave that alone. But I decided, okay, I'm going to do 2 to 4 really intensive, smart blogs a month. And I'm going to add those in too. So Kevin and I have started filming our own content. So then we can link those in. So now we're going to try taking those long form YouTube videos and placing those links into our blogs and placing that differently. We're gonna try that, right? And I know that she's got that basis covered, and so now I can go try other things. The way that we are engaging with our customers on Facebook is different than it was a year ago, and we're doing some, highly rich photo stuff, and then we're doing quick blogs, and we're linking differently. And you know what? We're showing up better because we have allowed more creativity to come in.
Yeah, I like that. That's
And I get to play a different role, and I get to change that role kind of frequently and test different things.
Amanda, are you going to say something?
I was going to say that I really appreciate the level of granularity that we have control over with the blogs. And like if there's something, all the access that we have before the blog goes live to change a picture to one of our own custom pictures, or to have AI create a new picture, to make an infographic, to put a certain point like higher than another, we have control over all of those things. And it's so cool. It's so cool. It's like the coolest thing. I show my friends and my family, and they can't believe how advanced we are. So you make me look really cool all the time.
I love that. I like it when you guys are changing the images too. All three of you guys. So all of you guys, I use the three of you as the example of how we have clients that are going to their content calendar, making modifications to those images, feeding us content as far as images go for link building and so forth. How did you organize that within your company? Who's responsible for it? What's their cadence? How long does it take them to go in and make those changes? Just for other people that are looking at the next 90 days of content, pre-published, ready to roll, and going, I need to do what and how? So just changing the images, how long does it take? And how did you guys organize that, Courtney?
So if I'm being completely honest, I don't think I've looked at my blogs and actually read them or looked at the images in 2 months. So that's a lot of trust, I guess. So there may be some things that I need to change that I have not. But what I have done, and you and I have talked about, is taking that.
Those were your images, so you're not changing.
Well, some of them, I think y'all have some of those images already on file that I think y'all are
folder.
Yeah. Okay. So there are some AI, there are some of ours, but I'm not physically changing them anymore. I was at the beginning, but what I've decided to do, spend my time on instead of going through each blog and looking at it closely, which maybe I should if I'm doing what I'm about to tell you I'm doing, is I'm taking those and I'm automating, reposting those blogs as Facebook posts, and then linking back to our website on our blog. So I'm spending my time on trying to utilize those and repost those instead of necessarily changing them.
Oh, yeah, sorry, we just launched an agent for that.
Well, thank you.
Sorry, it's brand new.
Okay, so you got to give me the info.
Testing. We do have an agent for that now that we'll do that on I think it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn said no. Is that right?
We're working through some LinkedIn kinks.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Well, I'll take that off.
Okay, so yeah, that we're ready for that.
But I was wondering, could I train the agent to not use branded photos if they aren't my brand?
That is an Alula question. Ask him. I would assume.
Or cover the brand.
Assume so, but yeah, that's a good Alula question.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Because I did notice today on some lower pages on the website, there would be a branded, and we can point those out and we can change them for sure. But if we could have an agent actually, here I am. I think that I can control all these agents now. So Bridget's like, I'm going to do an audit of the website. I'm like, don't do that. I'm sure we can have some AI, something, scrub everything. And
we just built that. Yes. So we just built the start of that, of a network of agents to now. The one we're rolling out after the first is technical audit. So it might not be, it's not going to be visual. But the technical one, we're done. Because I have 14 QA, QC people right now. that are taking hours. Imagine.
Go ahead and tell us what QAC means.
Oh, yeah. So quality assurance, quality control, auditors. I've got 13 human beings that are just auditing sites before they go live, but not going backwards once they are live. And there's a lot of moving parts. Those things are not static, right? I don't have any, I mean, no one has a budget for that. I don't have a budget for that. So yeah, we're trying to build that right now. So tell me your ideas so we can include what you would audit for, which would be different than what we would be auditing for.
Yeah, and a lot of it's visual. I mean, we still do take a lot of pride in the way that we look online. And so I think that if we could make sure that we were at least scrubbing images, I don't mind if it's not my tech, if it's just a blue uniform, fine. I don't want somebody else's ratty t-shirt. You know, I want to be able to put essentially like uniform guidelines in there. I want some install guidelines, you know, those types of things.
I'll just throw it out there. As you guys are applying weight, right? If time and money were unlimited and resources, then it wouldn't matter to apply weight. But as you're applying weight, as the volume of queries increases on AI search, know that none of your design elements show there, at least not yet.
I'm seeing a lot of pictures pop up into AI for things I want to purchase. And so over the weekend, I was asking how to make healthy cotton candy, which it's really not a thing because it's just on sugar, right? But all these cotton candy machines popped up.
Yeah.
In my chat.
That's part of their knowledge base. That's a product catalog. So they started with image generation or image identification and display for specific knowledge base categories. So one of them was recipes. Another one was product catalogs. Grocery came up. Haven't seen service yet.
But we should be building for that, in my opinion.
I would agree.
And so we should know, like, we should probably prioritize like what an ideal install looks like. And if we did a blog around that and we had pictures at least on that blog and we start putting some more weight behind it, then Airworks pops up for an ideal install. I love when I get to see her brain spin and her wheels work like in real time.
Oh,
those that aren't watching, Jen, think right now. You can actually see it happen.
I was thinking we need a DAM, which is a digital asset management system that was tagged and categorized similarly to how you would build a blog, but without the text.
So,
because then you would have a library essentially. So if you hand AI a library in a digital asset management system, you would have tags, categories, and alt text that would allow it to pull from this catalog versus have to crawl. Because you guys, blog content is like 3,000 to 5,000 words and 3 images usually. That's a lot for it to crawl. And we would want it to get, I mean, there's a reason why they chose recipe and product catalogs is because they have a DAM. You don't have a DAM.
I just wrote "give a damn" on my notes.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah. Okay, so here's the thing: is I have a Google. You asked how we collect it. I use a Google folder, and we categorize for different trades, different ways we're going to use that social. I collect content from my technicians in the field on a regular basis. I'm expecting them to add photos to every job they're on. They also post in our all company chat regularly because they know that we're going to use this information. We're collecting a lot of content and we're wasting it, in my opinion, if we're not giving you full access to be able to use that.
I'm going to build you a
boardroom.
I'm going to build you a DAM. I actually could probably have that ready to go. I'm launching a platform for you guys that's pretty freaking sick. I have no meetings this entire week because this is the only thing I'm working on. You guys are going to get a platform. This is ciweb.ai. In that platform, there is a asset management system, which I could turn into a DAM, put it into MinIO, feed that to your website. That's very interesting thought. I had not thought of that. I love these conversations. You have a vendor management system. You have a tech tech stack management system. So imagine having an area where you can see every single technology that you're subscribed to. You have the contract, the start date, the end date, the cost. And so if we can build a library for you to keep all your logins, passwords, API connections, tokens, all the keys, because we're trying to set everything up so we can launch this MCP. But the problem is I'm going to launch an MCP for you guys. And you guys, most companies are very disorganized with all the things that are required to even be able to function with an MCP. So we're going to build you that first. We have built that. And you'll be able to contain everything in there. But then we launched inside of there an AI analyzer that will automatically analyze all your vendors, all your subscriptions, all your tech stack, and it will come back and look at data points, and it will make recommendations and say, did you know you could consolidate these 3 technology subscriptions with this one platform, save $2,500 a month, and get all like 98% of the same technology or functionality? So anyway,
okay, I guarantee in 6 months, the 3 of us will have the same level of enthusiasm that you have right now once we understand what the heck you're talking about. But we are so supportive of what you got. We believe in you.
Bring it. Keep feeding me your problems.
Bring it. Thanks for giving a damn and building us a dam and making a damn difference. And, if anything, I would say the 3 of us are a testament to that what you are building works. And that it's not pretty all the time, but when you have faith and you lean back on data, and that is one thing that you've been really good about, is being able to track that data and make very educated moves and decisions, that it's made this such a pleasure. And I believe it's how, at least for my company, I'll speak for myself, it's how we're going to survive. And not only survive, it's how we're going to thrive. And so I am just so thankful to being on this journey with you and being able to tell you about my problems. Then you go off and solve them in magic fairyland and come back. And that's how we're going to do this, is together.
I love that. I love that. I love it. Oh, my brain is on fire right now. I literally have the databases on the whole side. It's struggling.
Amanda, what you going to say?
Yes,
please. No, I'm good.
She just came off. All right.
What else? I know we're at time, but what do you want? What would be like a big wow factor? What's something that's making you crazy? You're like, build something that would solve this. What is it?
I think the list is endless for me. I mean, because when you think about it, so much requires attention in our everyday business.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, I just need to like replicate you, Jennifer, and bring you in my office to like figure out how we AI everything else, just like you have in your business. How do you
an AI audit?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
So much time trying to do something, and then it may work, and then it stops working, or it works, and then I have to like retrain it. And it's just like, I just need to hire somebody full time to come in and do it for me, because I feel like I'm ignoring my other tasks when I try to put time and effort into it, you know?
I was just thinking compliance is a big part that I think we can automate, make intelligent. You'd be so proud of what I built yesterday, Jen. I worked between ChatGPT and Manus, and I have 2 new entities that I've created all of the information and paperwork for. We're doing a profit sharing plan that I built out the entire thing. I was able to apply all of the employees that I currently have, assign them particular units of profit sharing, and then project what that's going to look like, and run it through Kevin, like to stress test it yesterday. And he'd ask questions. I'm like, I don't know, let me ask. And so like, I'm asking questions, and then we're iterating, and then I can take that information. And I instructed Manus that I was the architect, it was the general contractor, and its agents were the laborers. And so I would put a change order in, because this is the language I know how to speak, right? And so I'd put a change order in, and then it would go back and change all my agreements to make it work. And that is a very laborious thing that would have taken me, in my attorney brain, weeks to go back through all of the agreements again and again. And I can get all that work done in between cleaning up Christmas with the kids. Like it was incredible yesterday how capable I felt utilizing the technology. And so I think that you can really help us do that in lots of areas of our business that we don't even understand.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I like that. I like that. Amanda, what about you? Thoughts?
Yeah, I think the same, similar, just helping us to know what do we automate first? Making sure that because a lot of times we don't know where to start. And for a long time, the advice we've been getting is learn, learn, learn. I think we've all learned a lot. And like Stephanie is playing around and doing stuff. I'm probably not. I don't think I've automated a single thing with AI. I mean, we have stuff. I've tried to do
Automated
some
the
of it,
majority of your marketing.
And I now am starting to even hate the word automate.
Yeah.
Because I don't want things automated. I want intelligent things.
Yes.
I want to start with an automation, but I want it to be intelligent. And so that AI, that artificial intelligence piece is just so important. And I think that's why you're hesitant to automate, because you haven't perfected it where you feel like you can pass that and not have to deviate from the plan.
Mhm.
And so that's the thing, is you have to be able to train the agent to be intelligent enough. And if we just keep automating things, we're not actually scaling or growing.
That is neural networks. And actually,
Chris is really pushing this to finish up.
Akash Gupta just did a really good article on this. And that's what Chris is working on our team. Is AI is not technically quite there yet, but it's showing glimpses of being able to leverage a neural network to actually improve itself. Right now, we still have these subject matter experts that are programming and guardrailing and programming and guardrailing, and we're getting it to the point where it can understand what the goal was, what the result was, and to make modifications to itself to improve goal. But it's freaking close. Like, it's freaking close. You're going to see this next 6 months will be a wild ride, because there are glimpses of itself being able to self-identify, not an auditor agent. Right now, we have auditor agents everywhere. You guys, when you're on your dashboard, there's that right-hand side that says checks, and it has all the audits. Those are all individual agents, because it doesn't have quite the ability to self-assess. But we're pulling little auditor agents out and asking it to use its best judgment in certain things. And we're starting to see some really good success. So you guys have been amazing. I know we just lost Steph. She just randomly started next meeting. You guys have been awesome. And I really just want to thank you guys for being really strong partners and for giving feedback and sharing ideas. And showing up, participating, suiting up for every single meeting with our accounts team and giving them feedback, and letting us explore and brainstorm and improve together. Like, the more of a team that is, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it greatly. We wouldn't be able to do this if we didn't have people like you in our network of customers who are committed to the process together. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. I mean, it's a team effort, right? And I'm so thankful that that we have you and CI Web Group and to like push us forward, because if it wasn't for you, we would be like, I would still be where we were, 2 years ago, or still on WordPress or whatever. And if we didn't take that leap of faith, and we're all just learning together. And so appreciate your foresight and being on the cutting edge and encouraging us to be excited about it too, because I don't think we're going backwards. Like, nobody's going to go backwards from here, right? So let's be on the forefront of it all. So thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, girl.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We love being partners with y'all. Thank you.
You guys are awesome. All right, you guys, with that, thank you for joining us for the Catalyst for the Trades. These ladies are freaking powerful. They are amazing. You gentlemen better be careful, because they are trying to stay that 50 steps ahead. All right. With that, thank you again for joining us for the Catalyst for the Trades. Share, like, and comment. Let us know what you want to hear on the show. I'm really excited to hear about your catalyst that's turned your business around or put you on a different path. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next year.
Happy New Year.
Bye, guys.
Bye.